Today's recipe is a shortbread chocolate chip cookies. Now you're probably wondering what's the difference between shortbread cookies and regular cookies. Well, the cool thing about this recipe is it doesn't really need a lot of ingredients because shortbread is mostly a cookie made with butter, flour, and sugar. The hardest part about this recipe is really mixing or creaming the butter and sugar. If you have a hand mixer, you're gonna spend around 6 minutes just mixing the butter and sugar until you can get it as fluffy as possible. If you don't have a mixer, well, I hope there's somebody else there to help you share the task of mixing over and over and over again the butter and sugar. After you've creamed your butter and sugar, next you want to add your vanilla extract, mix it, and then you want to add your flour in small batches at a time. What's really important in this recipe is making sure that the flour is fully incorporated. So you want to add small amounts of flour, mix, more flour, mix, more flour, mix. After your flour is fully incorporated, you want to add your chocolate chunks. So I just happen to have cooking chocolate that I chopped into pretty large pieces, but you don't have to use that. You can use chocolate chips if you happen to go to the grocery store and buy chocolate chips, or essentially any chocolate that you have at your house. But you want to incorporate it with your hands. The next step is to take saran wrap, such as I have here, or you can use wax paper, and put it down and then put your dough here and shape it into a log form. And then you're going to wrap the dough. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, any log shape. And then put it in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. So the next step after your dough is chilled for 2 hours is to put a coating of sugar all around the outside. So you need an egg wash to do this. So this is where the 1 egg comes in, and you just brush, or in my case I used a spoon, and make sure that the egg wash is completely over the dough. After your dough has been coated with the egg wash, you want to roll it in brown sugar. So take a clean surface or a plate, put your brown sugar on there, and really make sure that you've got as much sugar on there as possible, because this is what's going to create a nice crunchy crust on the shortbread cookie. Next, you want to take a serrated knife, if possible, and slice the log into the cookie pieces. Now, it's for sure when you hit those chocolate chunks that some of it's going to fall apart, but don't worry, this is a very forgiving dough. You can just squish it all back together. Also, make sure you don't slice the dough too thin. There's no cooking agent that's going to make this cookie rise. It's very dense. So if it's too thin, well then, I don't know, it's not a shortbread cookie. So it needs to be pretty thick. The cookies go into a preheated oven of 177 degrees Celsius, and you want to let it cook for 12 to 15 minutes. I left mine in there for a solid 15 minutes until I saw that the edges were nice and brown and crispy. Last point of advice, don't eat the cookies right away. You want to eat them at room temperature. This is shortbread. It's not supposed to be soft, ooey, and gooey. It's more of a crumbly, dense cookie. This shortbread cookie goes great with coffee, as you can see, on a beautiful, wonderful sunny day. Or, you know, inside your house on a rainy day. In all circumstances, we hope that you get to enjoy this cookie in any way that you see fit. Happy quarantine!